I thought, rather than coming in here, the numbers, Colin's given you the numbers, I'll give you 6 tips on how to set up a successful PMO and what it should do, or TMO. I use these guys, look, I'm a Wallaby supporter and a Queenslander supporter, obviously, right? You should be a new Queenslander. When you build a team, the first question you would ask in your business is, am I going to build that PMO capability in-house, or am I going to buy it? And if you're going to build it in-house, you have to determine, do I have the skills really to actually do that? Do I take a good guy over there or good girl over there that's a CFO and decide they're a great program director? My experience with that model is that it's destined to fail because they've normally got a day job. There's stranded costs left in the business if they're retained. So the first question is, do you build or buy it? Steve's going through this now. Do you build or buy the TMO services and transport? It's a big question. But when I talk about the people in the PMO, I would spend a disproportionate amount of time selecting people that make a material difference to what you do. Don't select someone that doesn't have pace and urgency in your business. Don't select someone that has no emotional intelligence and can't deal with stakeholders. Don't select someone that has no track record of delivery. Don't select someone that takes 2 hours to watch 60 minutes. In the end of the day, you don't select rugby union players to play for the All Blacks that don't play rugby union. That's why they're such a great team, because they get the players. And I've seen this across corporate, SMEs and government. They put people in these roles and expect the outcome to be different when they've got no track record. So I would do that for sure. I think as a PMO or a transformation director, you are the tactician of what should happen in terms of planning. There's an old saying, prior preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance, the 7P model.
Is that a military one?
It's another officer fascination tool, right? But what I would say is that you've got to start, I think to Tim's point, why do they fail? It's often, even the technology programs, the key business outcome is lost. You go to a meeting, you can't even understand an acronym coming out of the meeting. But I think it's important to look at the key business outcomes, look at the facts and assumptions you put in a program, develop multiple courses of action, select a course of action, execute the course of action, and keep repeating that cycle as things change in the middle. Because they always do change. Every day I'm working with Darren on the team, I say there's a new issue comes up, the situation changes, so we keep going through the cycle. Thanks, Jules. A slice of salami, they call it penny shaving, but if you're a thief and you steal $1 out of every $1,000 account, everyone in this room, no one would notice. But in aggregate, a thief's got a lot of money. What I'm saying with big programs is this prior preparation and planning and actually segmenting your program to component bits is absolutely critical to getting the aggregate right. So you've got to actually take the key business outcomes and start dealing with what it means at the functional level. Little bits, and each little bit you get right, you call them quick wins if you like, but a lot of big quick wins turn into big aggregate wins. So I'd certainly do that for big programs, thanks to it. Oh, look, I mentioned about, Colin mentioned this, he's absolutely right. You don't select people to run PIUs or big programs if they've got no emotional intelligence. They can't sway stakeholders. Glenn will tell you, I ran the governance meeting for the sourcing, which was a very, not a controversial project, but required a lot of stakeholder engagement because it was the first in government. I never had one governance meeting where the people walking into the governance meeting didn't know what we were going to talk about. And actually, a lot of the issues were resolved before we got into the governance meeting. And what I did concentrate on was the opinion leaders. If you take 10 people, very senior executives, you've probably got 3 or 4 opinion leaders. And in the end of the day, I hate to say it, they matter more than the people who don't have an opinion, because they drive the agenda for you. And Tim, that goes back to how many people you can get on board. And it's a bit like the bus. I always say you want to be on the bus. But if you're off the bus, you can be dragged by the bus or killed by the bus. So get on the bus. Thanks, Jules. I think running transformations and programs is about the great collaboration of every component part in your business. But I also think it takes a certain sense of, I won't say viciousness, but you've got to cut the chaff if people aren't performing. That's why programs are successful. You can keep carrying people, you can do the right thing, but in the end of the day, sometimes you've got to make hard choices. And if you keep the key business outcome at front of mind, that might mean people go by the wayside because they're just not the right fit, not that they're not good people. Thanks, Jules. I think, look, my experience of running 20 years of programs, the last 12 years are really big ones. Every PMO or leader needs a good wing person to actually give them frank and fearless advice. I must say I've been very privy to a lot of frank and fearless advice. I must say on this, and I've had actually Julia, would you stand up? The last 12 years has been with me in every program. She actually scares me quite a lot because the other day I got this come here like that and I didn't want to go. It was just a funny thing. But I think you need someone to give you advice, to tell you when you're going off track and when you're on track and how well you're going.